Going on? Good morning. Welcome to from the Capsule on this live broadcast this morning. Peace. This isn't 500 or bust, but this is still a contribution to the YouTube channel. And for those of you who know me and or have followed my journey, you know that I also, on top of drawing, I tattoo for a living. Like that's what I do for my day to day. It's what I do for money. It's my career. I don't like to call myself like just a tattooer because I like to create all different types of art, and I feel like it always contributes back. But that's kind of one of the things that I do on a day to day to pay for my stuff. So I give people tattoos and they give me money. It works out pretty good. This morning, I'm going to be on you guys can kind of see a little bit of it here. If anybody's highly interested and wants to get maybe like a closer look, please chime in on the chat. I'm just going to do about a 30-minute work on a project that I have to tattoo today. I actually sent a reference over to the young lady. We already kind of designed this already because I have like a small consultation with them beforehand. But then again, I go and I try to work a little bit on my own, and then I send them something, and that's what happened. And now I kind of got to revamp this a little bit. So I'm gonna do that this morning instead of doing like a 500 or bust. So I'll get best of both worlds. I get to interact with you guys here on YouTube. I get to design and send her a proof because I really like being ready to go when my clients get in. There are times where you kind of have to go back and forth with the design, maybe change something, maybe the placement is off, maybe they changed the location of the tattoo, so that changes the direction of the way things are facing and things of that nature. But for the most part, I really like to be ready when my client shows up. So we're expediting the process and they're coming and getting the experience that they deserve. They don't feel like they're waiting around and like their time isn't as important as my time or someone else's time. So that's just that. So I am going to start pulling a couple of things here. I'm doing a cross and a couple hibiscus flowers. So yesterday I sent her a proof and she felt like the flowers were a little too small. So I'm going to rework that, get those hibiscus flowers, make them a little bit bigger and see kind of how that works out. Cause I definitely, at least in my perspective, I want the cross to be like the major object or the item in the tattoo that you look at the most, just because it is a cross. And yeah, so that's that. Any questions, feel free to reach out. I see there's 8 people in here. Thank you guys for chiming in. I know it's a little bit early in the morning and man, YouTube will get you. Well, at least it gets me a lot of times, man. I'll go on YouTube and I plan on being there for 5 minutes and before you know it, it's 2 hours, But more often than not, it's educational. Thank you guys again. So here we go. I am going to pull back a bit and start getting rid of stuff. So, bang, bang, bang. Though these flowers aren't big enough, she felt like. Boom, boom. Oh, so these are full ones. Okay, gotcha. And this is what happens sometimes when you like design over a couple of different sessions, is that you kind of forget what layers you have, what layers you want to work with, all that good stuff. So she says that she likes that turtle there, so I'm gonna leave that turtle there. Get rid of these, get rid of all of this stuff. And she said that she kind of wanted also, so she wants these flowers. the one thing that she was talking about is that she didn't like the way that the flowers were a little bit smaller in this one. So we're gonna go ahead and make them slightly bigger, like we did last time, I think. Um, and then I am going to have to. Anybody out there have any questions for me concerning what I do, how I do it, what makes clients want to book with me other than other people? Um, these are all questions that I kind of even have. Starting to question that because, back in the day, a Reef Technical, yo, bro, what's going on, brother? How are you? I'm over here just designing for this morning. I got a couple of tattoos that I'll be doing today. So I am just designing my first one really quickly. It isn't like a full design because we've already kind of gone over this with my client. I'm just kind of sending her a proof so maybe we can get an okay from her and I can have the stencil all ready to go when she shows up. You know, we're not waiting around. I'm not having to change anything. Um, and all that good stuff. In about 2 seconds after right now, I'm just using the lasso tool and copy and pasting these flowers so I can have um, them independently, In about a second, I'm gonna go pour a cup of coffee and I'm gonna get the charger for this because last night while I was at dance, my daughter has dance um, on Thursday evenings. So, sometimes I get to be the parent that brings her. More often than not, we go as like a family unit. It's me, my wife, and my young son as well. He gets to run around, run amok. But last night, my wife stayed home. She was a little tired, and we're gonna have some company this weekend. So she's doing some cleaning up around the house and tidying up. So right now, um, my iPad's a little low, But give me 1 second, guys. Hold tight. You can appreciate this painting here. I got this at the Visual Arts Center of Punta Gorda for really cheap, and it was like, I don't know, dude, $10, $20, a fucking amazing painting. It's crazy what like a lot of these retired painters. I live in Florida, Southwest Florida, in a town called Venice, and it's crazy how all like the young artists, especially in my demographic, my peers, the people that I kind of grew up with, how, hey, how are you? They overprice their work. They're just like, they do this painting, they want 2, 3, 4 grand. I'm not saying it's not worth it because you put all this time into it, but then they wonder why it doesn't sell. Like, it's far and few in between. Someone's gonna pay a couple few $1,000 and just gonna slam it on a wall and forget about it. Those are collectors, and there aren't many of those. But then you see like these artists that are retired, that have been painting their whole life. They're amazing. To them they're not. In their own mind they're not, but to other people they're amazing. This painting, I'm gonna do a review of this, and it's an amazing painting. And I bought this thing for like less than what I can buy a value meal at McDonald's for. It was crazy. As soon as I seen it, I was like, what? 10, 12? It was like 10, $12. I was like, I'll buy this. You know what I mean? And I've sit it here and I've left it here, and it's probably gonna be one of those paintings that I never get rid of. Just to show that it's all about self-worth. And then at the end of the day, sometimes it's not about that. It's about sharing the art. You know what I mean? That's more important to that artist, to make sure that her art gets out there, his or her art. I don't even know who painted it. And wow somebody, impact somebody, makes a difference. I think YouTube's asking me to add a sticker. I don't know what that's about. Give me one moment. I appreciate everybody that liked this. I appreciate everybody that's been in here. It's gone all the way to like 10 people watching. So I find that very interesting, very cool. I usually don't shoot lives in the morning, but bang, bang. Give me one moment. I am going to get a charger out here and a coffee, and I'll be back. And we're working on a cross with a couple of hibiscus flowers and a turtle. Bang. Be right back. Here's this cable. Then I'm gonna go pour this coffee real quick before I take another small break. All right. I just realized that I usually shoot without a shirt on, like to show my tats and shit. But I'm not doing that this morning. This is just bang. So we're gonna go here, and she really likes it when it's a little bit. I love the duplication layer. The duplication layer helps me so much with, like, I always feel like I can't lose this. Do you know what I mean? So I just find it easy to duplicate that layer and make sure that I don't lose it, you know. That's very important, man, because I've had that happen to me. Not only losing a layer, but sometimes you're doing a stencil. Everybody that tattoos out there and or paints and or has to transfer a stencil, whether you're like doing scribing on leather or anything like that, it usually a pain in the balls when you don't get the stenciling correct. It usually just makes for a tougher job. And it's just one of those things. It's like the measure twice, cut once thing. Stenciling is kind of the same thing. Designing is kind of the same thing. where it's very important to kind of go through those ideas and go through those trial and errors as you're designing, so later on when you're tattooing and or applying this and or sculpting, you're not worrying about like, damn, am I gonna mess this up? Because you know that what you're doing is absolutely correct. Okay. And that's kind of what I'm trying to preach here, and I love to preach is that you want to do the homework. You only feel anxious when you show up to the game and you haven't practiced. Um, a lot of top athletes, even though I wouldn't say I'm an aficionado when it comes to sports, I do understand a lot of them. I understand the game, the rules, the regulations, what it takes to become a athlete of that level. But a lot of high performers, whether they're athletes and or any other medium and or profession, will tell you the same thing, that you're always going to kind of feel a little bit unsure. You're always going to feel a little scared sometimes, but the practice that you do when no one's watching is what's going to separate you from the pack, that's going to make you perform at your best, that's going to make you not look down on yourself and or create shame within yourself, because that's in my belief real big reason why a lot of people don't excel. And it's not because they're not doing the work, it's not because they don't have the potential. It's not a lot of that. A lot of it is that self doubt. And it's because you're self sabotaging and you're doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing. So then you feel like a complete hypocrite telling someone else. So then that stops the boat right there. Um, it's really, really all about practice. It's really all about practice and doing things that you know are going to move that needle. And the only things that are usually going to move that needle is you practicing that one thing that you know that you're struggling with. Other people might point it out, but you really have to be honest with yourself. I think that that is one of those major, major things that a lot of people have a hard time with. I am number one. A lot of the thought process and things that I share on here are because I resonate with them, because I feel like that's what it is for me. So don't take this like it's the holy grail, or like I'm spitting spirituality or truth. To some degree, I'm spitting my truth. And usually when I'm not practicing correctly, when I'm not drawing or going through the design 3 4 times, that's the time where I'm stressed out. I'm driving to work and I'm stressed because I know that and it usually always works out. I usually do a great tattoo and people love it, and because I've been doing it long enough. But that's when I feel it, man, when I'm not prepped. But with that being said, let me continue to do some freaking work here, so I, you know, have something to show her. And I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm not getting the work done. That is not good, guys. Not bueno. Any questions? Anybody tap in and ask themselves, what is it that I'm doing? I'm designing for today's tattoo, guys. This isn't 500 or bust. Let me know if you guys like this. If you guys like this format, if it was boring, if I should probably have some way, somehow, a way that I can. I've always asked myself that, and I'm gonna start trying to get a little bit more techie with it, where I can like have a, I don't know if I can do it when I'm live, but have like an in screen, like so I'm talking, but then in the corner, maybe in the corner here somewhere, it'll show what I'm working on. I think that that would be really, really good. And thank you for the number one and number two badge in there, man. You guys, a Reef Technical Bro, and I don't know what that is, but it's a foreign language. But I appreciate you guys chiming in on me. Thank you for the likes as well. Boom. We're gonna the shadow. this one we're going to make lighter, and then we're going to motion blur it. And then here we're going to hibiscus 3/4. Hibiscus 3/4 open. Sometimes it's crazy because it's like the one thing that you're looking for is the one thing that you're not going to find. Um, so right now I'm trying to find like a hibiscus that's maybe like 3/4 open, and that's kind of it right there. Um, but I guess they're like kind of hard to find, huh? Kind of like that, or kind of like this. Which is cool. I was looking at this one thing. Now, Josh had showed me this. Josh is a guy that I work with at the shop, and how you can just copy and paste into Procreate, which is freaking awesome, dude. Like, you just, you paste that freaking flower in there, dude. Like, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Again with the duplication. Again with the duplication. Heavy on that, bruh. All right. So that was that. It took me about 25 minutes or so. You know, I was doing definitely a lot of talking with the camera. So I'm not going to chalk that all up to this. But so this is what we're thinking. Thinking about doing kind of like a cross with a few flowers and a turtle. Those are hibiscus flowers, and that sea turtle kind of represents someone who's super, super important to her. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you very much. I hope some more people check in on this live. Let me know if this is something that you guys like as far as this content goes. Feel free and help me out with the algorithm. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, what do you guys think about this particular type of format of video, and or are we going to continue to do the 500 or bust? I'm going to be doing some long form content but I kind of want to bounce back and forth and kind of show you guys what my day-to-day is, like how I use art as a discipline to make my life better, and then it compounds and just works off of everything, you know. Everything works off of it. It allows me to see things in a particular way. It allows me to develop things in a particular way. It allows me to add value in a particular way, and it's something that I actually enjoy. This isn't something that I'm doing to make anybody else happy. If I didn't tattoo, I'd probably still draw. I'd probably still sketch. Before I was a tattooer slash designer slash art guy slash content creator, I was a barber. And when I was a barber, people used to drop off flyers to the barbershop. And in between clients, I had stacks. I'm going to find them and I'm going to bring them onto this channel and we're going to go through them together. I have stacks of drawings and sketches and ballpoint pen sketches that I used to do just for fun, just to fuck off. So it's something that I've always liked. I appreciate you guys very much. I'm signing off. Catch you on the next one. Peace. Live from the capsule.